So, thank you for joining me. The title of this webinar series, as you can see, is Results-Oriented Communications. The idea of these webinars is to help you improve how your team communicates, and at the same time, produce drastically better results. And this first webinar is all about quick and easy ideas that you can start using today to produce results faster without getting pinged by your team around the clock. That's always fun. Waking up in the morning to notifications of emails and messages coming at you from all directions. You'll also see how you can get better results faster without having to communicate the same things repeatedly, trying to make sure everyone is working off the same information. And you'll also see how you can get better results faster without having to keep up with team communications across multiple channels. When you just know important conversations are taking place, but you're not quite able to remember where. It's just wasted time, diminished results, added frustration. So we're going to take all of that away. Sounds good, right? You get the results you need faster, but without being a slave to communications chaos. So I'm not going to try to convince you that results-oriented communications is a good idea. I'm guessing you wouldn't be here on this webinar unless you already thought that. Today, I'm going to show you quick ways to implement results-oriented communications. The thing is, throughout my career, the overwhelming mindset that I've come up against was that team communications don't need to be structured, and that structuring our communications limits individual freedom. But in today's world, it's very clear that it's the unstructured communications that is limiting our freedom. Isn't that right? So let's jump right in. The title of this results-oriented communications webinar is Quick and Easy Ideas to Produce Better Results Faster without getting pinged by your team around the clock, having to communicate the same things repeatedly, or having to keep up with team communications across channels. That would put a lot more life in your work-life balance, wouldn't it? All right, who's ready for this? Great. Let's go. So my goals for this presentation, I've got 5. First, I want to help you simplify your work life. Our team communications are out of control. I want to help you structure your communications so you can get more of your life back. Second, and consequently, I want to help you simplify your team's work lives so you can give them more of their lives back too. I want to empower you and your team to change how you work. I want to help you and your teams embrace change. I want you to be able to make an immediate and sustainable impact, not in 6 months, not in a year, right away. And if you stay until the end, I've got a really cool gift for you. I don't want you to miss that. Okay, so some of you may not know who I am. My name is Doug Bell, and I've been helping leaders change their companies for 27 years. I've worked with some of the most recognizable brands on the planet. Brands like Disney, Toyota, DaVita, AARP, ExxonMobil, Geico, DeWalt, American Red Cross, Mobil 1, McDonald's, UL, United Healthcare, Career Builder, National Geographic, Paramount Pictures, and many more. I've worked with hundreds of others, but these are the ones that you most likely will have heard of. Now, I'm not showing you this list to show off. I'm showing you that these ideas that I'm going to share with you today will work anywhere. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. And yes, whereas I do go into these companies and teach them structured ways to change, I also learn a heck of a lot from them too. So what I'm going to show you includes the tips and tricks that I've picked up from some of the best brands and business minds in the world. Pretty cool. Leaders in big companies bring me in to solve big problems, transform operations, and produce optimal results. I do this by listening first, understanding clearly what result the team is trying to produce and how success is measured. If it's not clear, we clarify it. That's the most important step right there. It makes every subsequent step more purposeful and intentional. Now, once the result is crystal clear, then and only then do we co-design and implement a process to produce the desired result consistently. What I want to do today is shortcut your success story. And that's what results-oriented communications is all about. Over the years, I've been involved with a lot of companies that have done a lot of things right. But I've also been involved with a lot of companies that have done a lot of things wrong. I could tell you some stories, but today, I want to show you the things that have worked and could work for you. Cut out all of the wrong things. I discovered these things the hard way, but today, you get a shortcut to do it the easy way. Okay, guys, let's dive in. I'm now going to show you 10 ideas that will prove these 3 secrets. Secret number 1, you can produce better results faster without getting pinged by your team around the clock. Secret number 2, you can produce better results faster without having to communicate the same things repeatedly. And secret number 3, you can produce better results faster without having to keep up with team communications across channels. All 100% possible. After 27 years, it's all simplified into these 10 ideas that will focus your team communications on producing results. So the first thing that you can do is select a primary channel for team communications. This will ensure your team doesn't have to spend time searching across channels for pertinent information. When we think about team communications, we often think about the easiest way to deliver a message, firing off a group email or a group thread. Makes sense. They're incredibly easy to send. But we're also on the receiving end of those messages. And when they're coming at us across multiple channels, keeping up with team communications can be a whole job unto itself. Selecting a primary channel can make it a lot easier for the team to consume the pertinent information, making your communications so much more effective. Now, once you've got your primary channel selected, you can structure your team communications. And here are 4 ideas to set up the simplest structure for connecting strategy to execution. Starting with keeping a list of your team stakeholders. Hold on, we're having a technical glitch. Let's see if I can get this thing. There we go. So starting with keeping a list of your team stakeholders on your primary communication channel. This will ensure your team knows exactly who to produce results for. Your customers, your employees, your partners. This may sound trivial, but if you asked each member of your team to list your team stakeholders, how different would their list be? If you could ensure that every action your team takes can be focused on producing a result for the people who are most critical to your strategy, wouldn't you do it? Okay, team stakeholders, check. You can also keep a list of your team's processes on your primary communication channel. This will ensure that your team has a clear picture of which initiatives your team is working on to produce results for your stakeholders. So now we've got your stakeholders and your processes for producing results for them. Next, we need a clear definition of the desired results. So for each process, you can clearly define the desired result and how success is measured. This way, your team can share a clear vision for the result they're trying to produce and can focus their efforts accordingly. From my experience, the clearer the result, the easier it is to produce. And finally, we need to define the steps to produce results. So for each process, you can clearly define each step required to produce the desired result. This way, your team can share an understanding of your stakeholders' path to success, from where they start to the desired result, and every important achievement in between. So now we've got a communication structure, from strategy to execution. We need some accountability, which means for each process and process step, you can delegate an individual and department accountable. This will ensure that everyone knows their role and everyone else's in the plan to produce results. No one person can do it all on their own. The work needs to be cleanly distributed. Now, with a communication structure and clear accountability in place, we can start to communicate. But it's important that we only communicate the need to know info, which means having the individuals accountable share only the most pertinent information about each step in the process. This will keep team communications concise and focused on producing results, trading quantity for quality to get to the point efficiently. So, how do you communicate a step in a process efficiently? Well, the most concise way might be an actual video of the step taking place. That would be pretty clear. But the step may require a series of images or videos, a PowerPoint, a spreadsheet, or any kind of file or diagram. It's really up to the individuals accountable for the step. But the simpler they can make the communication, the easier it will be for everyone involved. And nirvana is reached when each process step becomes so crystal clear that teams can truly work in parallel with one another, connecting each step on the most direct path to a desired result. I mean, think about how easy Uber or Lyft has made each step for you to get from A to B. Today's consumers and employees want simplicity and give their support to those who can deliver it. Now, with each process taking shape, we need a clear view of performance, which means having the individuals accountable report the results of their step in the process regularly. This will ensure that the team shares a singular view of how they're performing, both individually and as a team. Because as the saying goes, you produce what you measure. There's no doubt about that. And now, with visibility into both your team's speed and direction, you can much more easily navigate change. By simply having the individuals accountable, keep information current. This will enable team members to plug in at any time and get current, making staying in sync easier for everyone. For those accountable, they can communicate one time on the primary channel to everyone. And for everyone else, they can plug in on their terms to catch up efficiently instead of a constant, unstructured barrage of information. And finally, to perfect your results-oriented communication system, you can take away choice by funneling communications to the primary channel. With a simple structure in place, all information broadcast is connected to process steps that are connected to to processes that produce desired results for stakeholders who are critical to your strategy and your success. Or you can keep choice and keep your team communications free flowing and unstructured. Just remember, it doesn't cost any more to structure communications. It actually costs less of your time, less of your team's time, less frustration, less confusion, and less communications chaos. So let's recap. You've just been given 10 ideas that have shown you that you can produce better results faster without getting pinged by your team around the clock. That you can produce better results faster without having to communicate the same things repeatedly. And you can produce better results faster without having to keep up with team communications across channels. Sorry, getting a couple notes here through the chat. All right. One moment. So you've got 10 ideas. Let me know which one made you think the most. Do you have a favorite that's stuck in your mind? Drop it in the chat if you can. Love to hear some feedback. Cool. All right, got a few questions in here too. We're going to take questions here in a little bit. Awesome, taking away choice. Yeah, that's one that it's going to help everyone in the end. So taking away choice, like I said at the beginning, it might seem like you're taking away freedom, but it really does help everyone. Agreed. It does sound very counterintuitive, but if you're really trying to produce results, it does make a lot of sense. And it shows you exactly what's going on in today's world from a communications perspective. And you start to realize we're not restricting anything. It's just a free for all. All right, great. Thank you. So before we finish today, I just want to say that I hope you took a lot away from this session. But the reality is there's one more thing that you'll need to ensure that your team's communications stay results oriented, and that's discipline. See, what I've given you is a simple framework that you can easily copy. I've used it personally hundreds, maybe thousands of times. But what will really set you apart is if I give you a system that makes discipline day to day truly possible. The best companies in the world didn't become the best by doing what everyone else did, but better. They did it by doing things differently. And the first step to results-oriented communications is choosing a primary team communications channel. That's what I want to share with you. And so I wanted to put something special together for you to help take this stuff to the next level. So let me ask you a question. If I had a way for you to implement results-oriented communications that would systematically improve results in a replicable and structured way, how many of you would be interested? Let me know in the comments. All right, thank you. Okay, cool, excellent. Well, I put together a special package for the people attending this webinar to be able to get, drum roll please, a lifetime subscription to our company's software, Parallel. Are you guys okay if I take a minute just to tell you a little bit more about it? Let me know again in the chat if you would. All right, cool. Thank you. I didn't want to assume you'd be interested, so it's good to know that you are. So here's what you're going to get just for participating today. A free lifetime subscription to Parallel, complete with white glove onboarding that I will conduct personally, free usage for life, and personalized support to maximize results. See, Parallel gives your team a live dashboard of your team's stakeholders, processes, who is accountable, and everything else needed to focus communications on producing results. And each process you put on your team dashboard sits on a platform for making process change easy. And every individual on the team can catch up easily when updates are made and gets a voice, literally, in the process. But Parallel is not right for everyone. If you don't want or care about transparency, don't have a culture of accountability or discipline to use a tool, or are not interested in trying new things, you can keep your current team communications unstructured, leaving you susceptible to around-the-clock pinging, communicating the same things repeatedly, and keeping up with team communications across channels. Or you can try something different, something disruptive, and potentially game-changing. If that sounds like you, and that's what you want to be able to do, I only really see 3 ways that you can do it. 1, spend 27 years traveling around the world, learning how leaders approach results production firsthand. 2, absorb thousands of books, articles, podcasts, videos, presentations, webinars, all that good stuff, and then try to distill all of the different ideas down to a replicable model that you can actually implement. Or use a product that's been created by a team who's already done 1 and 2. That's Parallel, by the way. You're going to learn a system that has been painstakingly analyzed and is comprised of the best approaches from the best companies on the planet. It's really going to give you an unfair advantage. So what you're going to get is free lifetime access to Parallel, worth almost $1,200 US per year for life. You're also going to get white glove onboarding, which I will provide personally, worth $300 an hour. And you'll also get personalized support to maximize results, also valued at $300 per hour. But look, I can tell you how great Parallel is. Of course, I'm going to say it's great. But here's what business process and customer experience pioneer Steve Towers has to say about Parallel.
Hi guys, Steve here. Just wanted to put on record my profound appreciation for the guys and the team behind Parallel. What a super thing that is. I've been in business for 6 decades now, and I have never, ever, until this moment, endorsed any software in any shape or form. And I absolutely endorse Parallel. So if you've not got working in Parallel yet, I would strongly advocate for you to do so. It's profoundly changed my life. It's given me a ton of free time that I never had before. All that miscommunication, all that complexity, now we have a clear line of sight to what we're doing every single day, every single week, every single month, and it's transparent to everybody. So great stuff, guys. Thank you, the team behind Parallel, and I'll see you again soon. Okay. Thank you.
Parallel is a game changer for sure. And I've got one last special bonus, but this one I can't do for everyone. This is just for the first 10 people that create a free account on the Parallel website and validate their email address. When these 10 spots are gone, they're gone. If you're number 11, you'll get the special offer that I've already described, but you won't get this. So you've got a short window to take advantage, right? Everyone's going to get a free lifetime subscription to Parallel, white glove onboarding, and personalized support to maximize results. But for you guys, for the first 10 people, for the action takers, you guys are going to get an unlimited lifetime subscription to Parallel. This starts at almost $3,600 US per year. For the first 10 people to take action, you get that for life. So if you know that you want this, you can stop waiting. You can stop listening to me. All you need to do is click the link to the Parallel website that I just put in the chat, where you can create an account and get started for free. The free lifetime account offer will be available for the next 24 hours. All you have to do is get started. Once I see you in Parallel, I'll send you a link to schedule your initial white glove onboarding session with me. I promise you're going to love it. Okay. Great to see people signing up already. You got time to get in there for the first 10 for the full unlimited lifetime account. So we've got some time left. You probably have some questions. So let's answer them. You can go ahead and ask any questions you've got in the comment box, and I'll try and get to all of them. Already had a question along this journey about, I believe, let me scroll back up, about emergent steps. So changing steps. And like I mentioned, Parallel really is a platform that facilitates change. It's all about change. That's really, when we look at our, what we're trying to accomplish and the speed of the world and how things are moving so fast. We need to be able to change, and emergent changes is probably the most critical. So we're responding, to that change in real time. We're adding steps, we're removing steps, we're adding processes, we're adding stakeholders. And just by adding a new stakeholder, to your team's dashboard, you're updating your strategy. You're telling your team, these are now people that we need to be focused on delivering value and delivering results for. Similarly, if we're adding a new process, a new product, any new process for delivering results, we're adding those to our team list, and we can see our holistic list. So we can take away processes, we can add processes, but we're really trying to manage the information that our team needs to access that's pertinent for them to do their jobs each and every day. Great question. Thank you for that. All right, got another question here. So do we need to drop everything else? I don't think we can just stop, is the question. Okay, yeah, no, don't worry. You don't need to stop everything. Results-oriented communications, it requires a clean line of communications that connects the team to the desired results. Think of Parallel as that clean line of communications. From there, you can see what other communications are actually needed. Always keeping in mind that simpler is better. The more communication that you can funnel into your primary channel, the less fragmented and the more synchronized your communications can be. Great. Okay, more questions coming through. All right. Why are we giving this away? Okay. All right. Straight with that. So Parallel is new. And our intention behind Parallel has always been to help people produce results faster. Throughout my career, I've seen 27 years, hundreds of companies. And this is really a challenge that every single team that I've ever worked with has faced, getting on the same page, staying on the same page. And we know that when your results go through the roof, you'll tell others and Parallel will go viral. So we're not worried about that, but we're worried about helping you today. Great. Now let's see, we got some other questions. How is Parallel different from other communication platforms? Awesome. Yeah, see, so if you look at all the other communication platforms, Slack and Teams, and really all the ways that we communicate, those systems are not structured to produce results. Parallel gives you a system to deliver what I like to call next practice, not just doing what everyone else is doing, but doing something different, creating things that have never been created before. Now, other softwares are good at making it easy to deliver communications, like I said earlier, but this software is good at making communications results oriented and easy to consume. Excellent question. Great. Let's see, we got more questions coming in. How long will it take to do the white glove onboarding? All right, great question from, is that Blake? Awesome. So everyone's different, but typically 30 minutes will be plenty of time to get you at least off and running. And after that, it's pretty much as needed. But whatever you need to be successful, it's not complicated. We're going to make sure you succeed. Okay. Other questions? I'll wait a minute, see if there's other questions. Okay. Can I share this offer with colleagues? All right, that's a good question. So it's really only supposed to be for the people on this webinar. I'm not going to go back and cross-examine the webinar list with the sign-up list, but my official answer is it's not really fair to the people on the webinar, so I'd prefer you not to. Excellent. Okay, so any other questions that I can answer for you? Who is Parallel for? Oh, good question. From, looks like Simon. Sorry, yeah, Simon. Good question. So it's for people whose job it is to understand and improve results within a company. It's really that simple. If you own a P&L or are helping someone who does, this is for you. It'll help get your team super focused on results. That's what's important, instead of having to chase communications. Okay, looks like that might have sparked another question. Will it work in retail? Okay, yeah. No, it doesn't really matter. Like I mentioned, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter what industry sector you're in. Companies only speak one language, and that's results. Parallel isn't going to show you specifically what to do. It's not going to say your stakeholders should be these and your process should be those. It's going to show you how to approach producing results in a way that allows you to figure out what to do that's best for your stakeholders in your situation. So yeah, it'll work in retail. It has, yeah, this system is tried and tested. It's proven. It'll work in any industry. All right. Other questions? Okay, what about B2B? Okay, well, the way I think about that is that there really is no such thing as B2B, you know, only B2C, but sometimes there's just a lot more B's in between the B and the C. You actually might be a B2B to B2C company, but the practical answer is yes, it does work. Parallel works exactly the same, no matter, you know, if you're dealing with a customer, a consumer, or another business. You know, I'm from Washington, D.C., and I spent a lot of time working in the world of B2B, B2C, B2G, B2A, you know, all of them. You know, so whoever your stakeholders are, Parallel will work. Okay. Excellent. So we are, looks like I answered all of the questions that I've got. If there's any final questions, go ahead and put them on there. Is General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, conform? So does it conform to GDPR? So basically, this is a communications platform, just like Slack would be, or any kind of chat or messaging system. So it's a basic communications platform. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, where is it hosted? Excellent. So yeah, it's hosted, getting into the technical details, it's hosted on a private server in the state of New York. So it's very, very secure. If you want more details, I can follow up with you afterwards. Awesome. Any other questions? I'll wait one more minute to see if there's any other questions that I can answer. Awesome. Okay. So you can follow up with me directly afterwards if you have other questions, but now is the time to get started. You're going to get lifetime access to Parallel just for joining today, white glove onboarding from me, and personalized support from me to maximize your results. And if you're one of the first 10 people, like I said, you'll get unlimited lifetime usage. It's a total value of almost $3,600 per year for life. So I sent the link in the chat. You can go ahead and click the website to get started right now, workinginparallel.com. What have you got to lose? Why not give it a shot? Thank you so much for being with me today. Again, my name's Doug Bell, the CEO of Parallel, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks so much for joining.